Yo, oh my good. Alright. It's your boy Mr. B. What's happening? You good? I'm kinda good. Uh it's Wednesday, August 2nd. It's about 4:05, 5 minutes past a lot of time that I said I was gonna jump on here, but I am here. Hold on, I'm looking for some stuff. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. Okay, there you go. So, do another one. Hope your week went well. Week was alright. Week was hectic. I was mad late for church, but I managed to cook and get the food there. Other than that, weekend was pretty eventful. As far as watching TV was, yes, and streaming and all that stuff. You know, uh, freaking TV, Trump's indictments, Hunter Biden not getting a plea deal, the fact that they now coming out talking about the aliens. We have extraterrestrials; they are real. They got UFOs and bodies of these extraterrestrials, and they're gonna release those. They're having a whole meeting with these with the whistleblowers and all that stuff. Oh boy, I'm telling you, the world is crazy. Other than that, last week, last weekend, UFC two. Well, we did talk about it. In a way, Fulton, in a way, became unified champ, taking both of Stephen Fulton's super bantamweight titles. On Saturday, we had UFC 291 as well as Spence versus Crawford. Spence Crawford the took over Nevada pretty much, took over Las Vegas. Um, while the UFC was back in Salt Lake City, Utah. Both shows, both events turned out really good. But there was a lot of jaw dropping. There was a lot of jaw dropping, man. I think on both ends. On the end of the one side of boxing, you know, Joannes Telez had a finish. He had that stoppage in the third round against Sergio Garcia. Alejandro Santiago won the WBC bantamweight title against Nonito Donaire. Took a unanimous decision. Good boxing bout, man. Um, Santiago showed that Mexican spirit, showed that heart, and pretty much brought the striking to Donaire. Um, as much Donaire is a phenomenal boxer. He's up there in age, and Santiago managed to do what he needed to do, which was pretty much get Donaire to throw the punches, get Donaire to bite, and if he overcommits, you counter and land the good shots, and he managed to do that. Um, for like I think it was the other half of the round, like 2/3 of the round, you could say. Did pretty well for himself. Got that win. Isak Cruz got a split decision win against that dude Giovanni Cabrera. Now Cabrera could take punches, but I don't know what the hell they was talking about. I don't think it was a split decision. Then again, Cabrera took a lot of good shots, man. A lot of heavy shots. But I don't know. It didn't seem like a split decision to me. But he still got the win. Kind of figured that. Um, and then we had the main event. Errol Spence, the um, three title holder, versus Terrence Crawford. Crawford, the WBC, the WBO. Um, while Spence was the WBA, the WBC, and the IBF. Um, a lot of people thought this would be a competitive fight. I kind of thought it would be a little bit of a competitive fight. Man, Spence got dogged, man. God damn. Spence got dogged quite worse than Fulton did, man. Like, yo, what the fuck, man? Crawford looked, yo, I said Crawford was going to be good, man. My pick was Crawford. But, shout out to Spence coming in there and finding the way he wanted to fight, man. But he got outclassed, man. He got outclassed bad. He got dropped in the second, twice in I think the seventh round or eighth. Stopped in the ninth. Bro, he got dropped by a jab. A jab. He got dropped by a power. He got caught by a power jab. The right hand from from Crawford was just catching Spence. Spence tried to put a little bit of, finesse on there and try to box with Crawford, which wasn't a good idea because Crawford is that guy. He's technical. He's a very technical dude. Um, so he was managing to be able to set up Spence, use his jab to take away Spence's jab, use good footwork to get out of certain situations, and just manage to have his feet planted so he could throw big shots, throw heavy shots. And because Spence didn't use a lot of head movement and was just looking to get for the get back, he kept getting caught. Bruh. One point, Crawford threw the long left hand, power jab, boom. Catches him with a hook, boom. The uppercut to the hook, boom, boom, drops him. I'm like, he doubled up on the right hand, boom, boom, dropped him. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, man. And all through this fight, all you hear is Derrick James. You gotta have that defense. You gotta have that defense. You can't just be walking right into them shots, man. You can't be walking into those shots. Spence kept walking into these shots, trying to get for the get back. Kept trying to get in there, tried the body shots, and because Spence is a legit welterweight, people thought he would be able to keep Terrence Crawford weary, keep him humble with those body shots, and the power. But Crawford was dealing here with some of these shots, man. And Crawford was like, "Yeah, that's nice," and just kept hitting them right back, man. It pretty much just showed like, Terrence Crawford was ready for the occasion, and him taking that fight previously on was it the Black Prime? Some folks laughed about it, but maybe that's what he needed to calculate things. How much weight he needed to put on, how much muscle he needed to get to take some of these shots, and people laughing and joking because the pre-fight presser, he was arguing with some people. Oh, Crawford's emotional. He's not gonna be right. Spence got it. Nah, man. People don't pay attention to Terrence Crawford's upbringing. You ain't listening to it. Terrence might come from lightweight, super lightweight. But boy, oh boy, not super lightweight, junior lightweight. But that man from Omaha, Nebraska is a bad dude, man. He ain't here for the glitz and the glamour. He here to make money and build legacy and bust ass because you want to provide. Man got 6 kids. See his lady, she ain't no supermodel. He got himself a real down home girl. His family chilling. Yo, he ain't with the bullshit. And you see him middle of the fight. Man, calling out Jamal Charlo, boy. Man, let me tell you something. That's been what? 3, 4 years in the making for Terrence Crawford? Crawford was talking about he gonna fight one of them Charlos. He was looking for them Charlos. He said he wanna fight one of them Charlos, man. And shit, he might get it. He might get it. Now, in the wake of all this, Spence got beat bad, hit with crazy levels of power shots, crazy shots all around. Spence gonna go heal up, and he said he wants to look for a rematch in December. Don't take that rematch in December, Spence. Don't do it. You want a rematch? You gotta sign off. Don't sign for December. If I'm Spence, take the year off. Take the year off and rebuild and come back. Um, he said he wants to move up to 154. A lot of people talked about during this fight. I seen the people talking about the gloves, but these boys checked their gloves before that even happened. Come on. Um, he talked about, Spence is big and Spence cut weight. Spence is a three. Spence got 3 titles in the division. And if Spence didn't want to take the fight, Spence could have easily said, "Nope, I'm good money," and moved up. He didn't do none of that. Spence fought Ugas. You know what I mean? And he waited. You know? Spence is clearly the A side of this. So you didn't have to take the fight. He took the fight. Stop doing this stuff, you know what I mean? If a dude lost, he lost. Don't diminish the fighter. Don't diminish the opponent that won. When you do that, that's what you're doing, in a way. Because Spence was fighting 147 for the longest. And Spence signed up for this fight. Then you're taking away from the fact that Spence's whole run here at welterweight, he couldn't get things done because he was big. But he got things done. Taking away from the magic that was Terrence Crawford on Saturday night. Don't do that. Respect what's going on, man. And that's that. Now, as I mentioned, Terrence Crawford want to look for Charlo. I think Boots Ennis will now be one of the mandatories for Terrence Crawford. I think that definitely makes Jared Boots Ennis Boots the the mandatory. I think what is he? Yeah, he's mandatory. Keith Thurman is up there in the rankings of the WBC, and I think the WBA. Is it WBA? I keep trying to remember. I know the WBA and the WB. Yeah, I think the WBC and the WBA, or WBA and the WBO, but one of the two. But he's a mandatory. He's a mandatory for one of those, and he's in the top 5 in one of those. Um, in both of those, pretty much you could say is the top rank. Um, so he's calling out for a fight against Terrence Crawford. But considering how Keith Thurman has looked, bro, and then Crawford, I think, well, this dude should go ahead and Thurman. Thurman should go ahead. If Thurman want to fight, get that 147. Hey, what's happening, brother? How you doing? I'm good, man. I'm good. Hope you doing well. Um, yeah, I think with Thurman wants to fight at 154. 154 is okay, but Crawford's a 147. He's holding all the titles at 147. Keith got to go fight at 147. You want to fight at 154? Spence is planning on moving to 154. Fight Spence. Because when you had titles and Spence wanted to fight you, you were ducking Spence like the plague. And it made no sense. So, take the time and sit and wait for Spence to come back. You could get a fight with Spence. It'll be a much anticipated fight. You could have had this fight, and you probably could have halted the hype, but you killed it. You killed it for yourself. And then what happened later on. You had a title. Manny Pacquiao came out of nowhere, blew the doors off for you for the title. I'm a renewed man now. Yeah, man, whatever. But that's what's going on. And also you got Danny Garcia at 154 now, who's still gonna be chilling. There's a lot of guys at 154, and you have Jamal Charlo. So Charlo gonna go fight Canelo later this year, if I remember correctly. So that's gonna be nuts. And you figure out what's gonna go on from there. If Charlo wins, then Charlo wins. If Charlo loses, then there's gonna be a round robin for whoever could fight him. Charlo don't want to fight Spence. Thurman's gonna have to fight somebody big at 154 to even get a knock on the door of a 154-pound title fight. So that's the situation there. Now, other than that, I hear people talking about Spence should retire. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know, and I don't like throwing that thing. Dude's got to retire. And I know Spence had the horrific car crash accident that happened to him before coming back and fighting you guys and doing all that. Yeah, he had that crazy accident, man. When he managed to come back and he fought you guys, he didn't look quite 100%, but he beat you guys. He actually stopped you guys. So if anything, it's probably the muscle mass. I'll say. But even in that, as a grown man who signed on the dotted line to fight on Saturday, he fought on Saturday. He's a great fighter. He just happened to lose on that night. Let him sit back. Let him rebuild the body. Get himself suited for 154. And we'll see what he does at 154. Other than that, big congrats to Terrence Crawford. This dude's really on the come up. Omaha, Nebraska, man. Stand up, boy. Sinesia Estrada fought last week too on Friday. She did good. She did good. And it wasn't like it wasn't crazy. It wasn't crazy. It was a ladies boxing bout, man. But she won that unanimous decision, keeping her WBC and WBA strawweight titles. Andreas Cortez, he beat Xavier Martinez. I thought that was gonna happen. At lightweight, well, if not, what lightweight, featherweight. My fault. The super featherweight titles. Kept his WBC title. We had a couple. Supernova Abraham Nova, aka Puerto Rican Lincoln, Puerto Rican Abe Lincoln came out and got that finish. Yeah, Jonathan Romero, he beat that dude in round three within 2 minutes. 2 minutes of round three, finished that dude off. I'm so happy for Nova. Nova's a dope guy, man. Super rangy as hell, but good guy. The Dominican boy, Rohan Polanco, got a knockout in the fifth round against Cesar Francis. Um, Subaru Murata got that finish against Juan Centeno at super bantamweight. That was dope. Murata's on the rise, man. And we had a couple, two other knockouts. Charlie Sheehy, um, got a finish. Oh, I appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Jalen Phillips got a finish. Yo, I gotta move some things around, man, so I can get time to come up on there, man, on nonsensical nonsense and talk some nonsensical nonsense. That's the homie Glick, y'all. Yeah, man. Hell of a show they do over there. You catch that during the week, man. Great content, good content, man. But Glick has me laughing sometimes, man. I listen. It's not even a sometimes. This is a most of the time, the all the time thing. Man, that man will have you crying tears, tears of laughter. Yeah, man. I gotta get on to doing that. I keep saying it. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna get on today, man. So we had what else we had? Oh, yeah, we had the Bellator joint. That's right. So Bellator Rising had an event, right? On Saturday too. And because of the way that they book events, because of course it's Bellator. Bellator is a weird ass organization. But they do good business, I guess, with other organizations. I won't bullshit. Um, they worked with RIZIN. Now, everybody that knows RIZIN or RIZIN, however you want to say it, is by the same guy that owned Pride. Now, RIZIN's managed to do their own thing for the past couple years. Been pretty good. They got their own champions. Some of those champions have left and joined other organizations, but still, they're doing really good work. So they had their show on Saturday at 11, live from Japan in the Saitama Super Arena, you know, home of big time fights. So they had the Bellator Rising co-promoted show. This show was a little before uh the Rising Super Show. So we had Andre Koreshkov for fighting Lorenz Larkin. They had no prelim fights really. So it was 5 fights on this card. And it was Andre Koreshkov fought Lorenz Larkin at 170. Koreshkov won unanimous decision. No, split decision. This is a rematch from a fight they had a couple years ago where Lorenz Larkin won by split decision because Lorenz Larkin was more active on the feet. He defended takedowns more and he threw a lot more strikes and landed. This time around, it was Andre Koreshkov who tended to land a little bit more of the technical strikes, but did a lot more wrestling and had Larkin pinned down with the takedowns and have more control. So he managed to just eke it out. Lorenz could have had it had Lorenz pressed a little bit more with the action, but it was a very close fight. Koreshkov won. We had Danny Sabatello face Magomed Magomedov at bantamweight. This was a match that Sabatello asked for in Chicago, but they gave it to him a little early. But it was the right opponent in Magomedov. Sabatello had the first round, pretty well. He came in, he had a takedown, he had a lot of control. He was beating up Magomed. Magomed managed to get a reversal of some sort. Some good striking took place, but it was a lot of Sabatello doing the right things. Unfortunately, though, Sabatello overcommitted to a takedown, a double leg, and Magomed managed to get the neck. Magomed not only got the neck, Magomed ended up with a guillotine. Magomed pulled the guard. Actually, no. He jumped. He went for the jump. Kind of pretty much pulling guard, yeah. But pulled the jumping, the guillotine, pretty much. Adjusted for a high elbow guillotine. Now, this is when you're putting the grips on for a regular guillotine, but because the angle of the elbow is super high, the submission ends up being really tight. Sabatello's trying to pull out. This man adjusts even worse. Sabatello has no other choice but to tap out. He still gets submitted 355 in round one. Crazy, crazy stuff. Because Sabatello made the one mistake of being overly committed and gets caught. Two good wrestlers, and by the way. Magomedov being a Sambo specialist and Danny Sabatello being really good in U.S. freestyle wrestling. We had Veda Ortega versus Kana Watanabe in the Bellator women's flyweight division. This was a fight. Watanabe is number 3 in their rankings, and Ortega, I think, is number 7. Is it 7? 7 or 10, somewhere around there. But Ortega fought. This was a good fight because Ortega managed to get her boxing in. She was popping the hell out of Kana Watanabe. And Watanabe was striking, because she's a tall girl. She's a tall girl for the division. She has long limbs. She's a good wrestler, a really good judoka in Japan. She's medaled. She won the awards. She's competed, for quite some time. And she went out there. She tried to get some of this wrestling in. Didn't quite work a lot. But what was interesting, though, was that Ortega started defending these takedowns. Veda did get taken down, but as the fight continued, she started defending these takedowns pretty damn good. But she kept boxing and piecing up the hell out of Watanabe. Watanabe did land some strikes a little bit, in the rounds, but I felt Veda won. But they gave a unanimous decision to Kana Watanabe. Not a split, a unanimous. Bruh, even the Japanese crowd was not feeling it. It was half cheers, half wait. What the hell? Man, the favoritism is unreal. But, Veda can't catch a break. Now Veda's record 7-6, man. Come on, man. And this girl's been in wars with damn near everybody in Bellator. So we had Kyoji Horiguchi in the next fight, which was the co-main event. Kyoji Horiguchi, who was a number 1 contender in the UFC for the UFC flyweight title against Demetrius Johnson. He's also a dude who picked up good wins against solid competition in the UFC. Ended up being let go by the UFC. Was in RIZIN. Had lost the fight. Came back, won the title. So he was the RIZIN bantamweight champ or the flyweight champ. Flyweight champ. Yeah, we say flyweight champ. um, he won that title. He beat Manel Kape. Um, he beat Kai Asakura. He had that title. He went over to fight Darian Caldwell. Yeah, it was bantamweight. He fought Caldwell. No, Caldwell fought him in Japan. He beat Darian Caldwell in Japan, defending his title. He went to the U.S., fought Darian Caldwell for Darian Caldwell's bantamweight title, and beat Darian Caldwell. Ended up becoming the dual champion for both RIZIN and Bellator. But because of an injury, he ended up vacating those titles. This was him coming back now after fighting Sergio Pettis. He had lost that fight. He was going to be here for the inaugural flyweight title, facing a guy by the name of Makoto Shinryu, who is a 23-year-old phenom, 6-1-1. Now, unfortunately, the fight didn't only lasted about 25 seconds, 25, 30 seconds. These guys stood. They threw a couple strikes. There was a crazy exchange, and an accidental eye poke happened. Shinryu's eye, his right eye got poked. He got scratched or something like that. But the kid couldn't see. They ended up waving off the fight. They were booking somewhere down the line. Jesus Christ, that sucked. But eventually, we had Patricky Pitbull versus Roberto De Souza in the This was the lightweight tournament. Unfortunately, Patricky was supposed to fight AJ McKee, but AJ was injured, so he couldn't compete. And they had Roberto De Souza fill in on a couple days' notice. Now, De Souza is RIZIN's bantamweight champion. No, RIZIN's lightweight champion. So he fought Pitbull. Good fight. A lot of exchanges. At one point, though, Pitbull caught him with a flying knee. Almost finished him. It didn't get the finish quite, though. There was a couple more exchanges that happened. There was a crazy throw that happened. But eventually, Roberto was there in the third round. Patricky managed to kick him, constantly kicked these legs throughout the fight, and stuck him with one nasty leg kick to the left leg, the lead leg. Just totally took all the feeling off that leg. Souza couldn't stand up no more, and then he got hit with ground and pound. Patricky Pitbull wins. So Patricky Pitbull now will be moving into the semifinals, fighting Alexander Shabali, while Usman Nurmagomedov, is it Kuzo? Yeah, cousin of Khabib Nurmagomedov, will be fighting Brent Primus, who was a former Bellator lightweight champion. So that's gonna be crazy, man. And as far as the rest of this card, this event went, the Super RIZIN joint. All I can tell you really, there was some good fights on there, some good submissions, but Patricio Pitbull got knocked the fuck out. He got knocked out so bad, it's really insane. He got tagged with a straight right hand, even though it kind of looked like a right hook, but he got hit so hard. My dude did a spin and literally was trying to grab the ropes for support and just slid down the ropes. That was bad. Considering the fact Patricio just lost to Sergio Pettis the way he did in a sound decision loss, to go in Japan, fight this dude that was just really about the hands, and get knocked out cold by this guy, man, that's bad. That's bad. I think Yeah, and Juan Archuleta, at least Juan Archuleta won the title. Unanimous decision. He won the vacant bantamweight title in RIZIN. So that's good. And Sika Izawa won their atomweight title, beating Claire Lopez by ninja choke, which is a very tough choke to catch somebody in. That was the choke that Holly Holm got caught in about 2 events ago. By no 2 events, yeah, 2 events ago by Mario Bueno Silva. So if you want to check that, man, check that joint out. Tafik Musayev beat Akira Okada with a left hook in the second round. That was nasty. We got a ref review. The ref stopped the fight in the first round. Shinobu Ota beat the brakes off of Kenta Takazawa. Oh my god. Ota is like a really big time Japanese wrestler. And boy, oh boy, the way he got on that dude was vicious. So, but yeah, man, my dude Makuru Asakura got submitted. He got choked out, man, by Vugar Karamov. So, Karamov becomes the featherweight champion for RIZIN. Yeah. So what happened as well, if you don't know already, Dustin Poirier got knocked the hell out, man. First time in like I think it's been like 6 or 8 years, we'll say, since Dustin Poirier got knocked out. Oh, 7. See, I was close. 7 years. Michael Johnson knocked him out. That's over 10 fights ago. Can you imagine that shit? So you've been you other than Michael Johnson through that whole stretch, you only got submitted twice by two good guys in Khabib and Charles Oliveira. But Justin Gaethje shows up out of nowhere. They clown Justin Gaethje's hands, and then Justin Gaethje head kicks the shit out of you and puts you in the shadow realm. That's bonkers, man. Big props to Justin because a lot of people really doubted him and thought he was gonna fight Goofy. And if you didn't watch him when he fought Rafael Fiziev, and pay attention, man, me and the homie Mike Copenhaver on Cope's Corner, we had talked about it on that show. And when Gaethje fought Fiziev, I said, yo, Gaethje might be able to outpoint Fiziev. And Lord behold, Gaethje won 1 point. Now, look, Dustin Poirier he's a good fighter. One of the best. Really has improved. But I think this go around, the inactivity played a big factor, man. He's been fighting Conor McGregor his last 2 fights. And it's like, what he fought? Yeah, he fought Conor. Oh, yeah, he fought Oliveira. My fault. He did fight Oliveira. He fought Oliveira. He fought Chandler, You beat Conor, cool. You fought Oliveira, who was a mix of skills. You got submitted. You fought Chandler. You beat Chandler. Gaethje's getting better, man. Gaethje's your age. He's gonna move. He could take a shot, but if he's gonna throw one, he threw that head kick, boy. Knocked Dustin senseless. Jesus Christ! But big respects. Now I hear that he might sign to fight Conor McGregor. I don't know. If he does manage to get that fight with Conor before Michael Chandler does, I will be really, really disappointed. But then I'll be disappointed because the fight with Chandler didn't happen, and I'll be disappointed that Chandler did all this stuff and still couldn't get that fight. That's bonkers, man. But that was the main event in UFC 291, man. So, yo, Miranda Maverick kicked this card. Oh, well, let's talk about it. 11 fights on this card, right? 9 finishes. 9. 2 fights went to decision. You couldn't ask for nothing better. But yo, Miranda Maverick came through. She got back on her wins. She got her win back, yo. She beat Priscilla Cachoeira. Total domination with the wrestling. More so jiu-jitsu style-wise. She kept going for these single legs. My only problem, my only critique is that Miranda is good. Her stand-up's pretty good. But she got to find better ways to get takedowns. I'm cool with her single legs because she gets really aggressive. She uses the leg trip or the leg sweep to get the proper leverage, you know what I mean? To get for the takedown, you know? But for people who could be able to defend a single leg, you need a double leg. You need a blast double. And she has the frame to get a double leg. She's a stocky, you know, she's short. She's not that tall, but she has a build to get a double leg, man. And if she can run, you know what I mean? As they say, run the pipe, and that's pretty much going straight through and getting those double legs, yo, she'll be a beast. But other than that, she got down. She got the shots in, the ground and pound on Priscilla. She worked Priscilla. Eventually, the third round, she got on her. She had a full mount. She went for the armbar. Got it. Big props. That was at women's flyweight, 125. The second fight there was a welterweight fight. That was Uros Medic versus Matthew Semmelsberger. Semmelsberger, so far so good in the UFC. He's had some losses, had some wins, but he's a legit threat. He fought Uros Medic, who was moving up from 155 to 170 here. And it was crazy because these guys fight the same. They have the same build. And yeah, they kind of fight the same and they carry power. But I wanted to see how Medic was going to do as far as striking wise. Well, with the power, will the power really carry? Fucking hell, man. Yo, Matthew Semmelsberger dropped Medic. Medic dropped Semmelsberger. These dudes were banging. And Medic started picking up with the volume a little bit. But Semmelsberger's right hand is just so clean. When he cracks you with that right hand, it's like Jesus, man. Like, yo, what I gotta do? What I gotta do to get you off me, man? But Medic managed to wear it, get back up, dish the punishment, break off, throw some kicks in the mix to keep the distance and recover. Then they were throwing shots. Medic was chasing Semmelsberger. Semmelsberger at one point was chasing Medic. Eventually, they got into this crazy exchange. Medic throws a spinning backhand. He was going for a spinning back fist, but caught Semmelsberger with the forearm, went for the ground and pound, and the ref stopped it. Was it a little early? Probably a little early. But the way Semmelsberger fell, and then when he got back up, he was still out of it. So I'm not mad at the stoppage. Medic wins. TKO. Now, as far as picks go, I'm 2-0 right now. So I was super hyped. Here's where shit got rocky. The next fight was Jake Matthews versus Darius Flowers. Now, Matthews, big boy, big Australian boy, lost his last fight, was coming back here to fight Flowers. Flowers coming in short notice. Taking his fight at 170. Flowers is a small guy, but he came in here, and for a guy who's fighting at short notice at a bigger weight class, he looked good early on. The first round, he did look good. He pieced up Matthews quite a bit. He got a takedown on Matthews. He looked all right. It was the second round. Second round comes. Matthews manages to land a kick. Now, the toes and the front end of his foot caught Flowers, it seems to be right at the liver. But the the heel of Matthews' foot might have hit him in the cut, but either way, Flowers reacted like as if he got hit bad in the nuts and fell. But when they showed the replay, it looked like the toes got into the body, but the heel might have grazed. Oh well, they took the break. He got back. Jake Matthews ends up getting a takedown. Um, Matthews ends up beating him up, beating up. Flowers tries to roll, get on his back. Matthews said, "Yo, cool. I'm gonna get this rear naked." Matthews wins with a rear naked choke. Now I'm 2-1. Roman Kopylov comes out, fights Claudio Ribeiro. Now I mentioned last week, Roman Kopylov could box, but the guy got kicks. I just wish he used his hands more so he could establish his kicks. He did just that. Claudio Ribeiro got a lot to fix. I think it was just too much of a jump in competition. Ribeiro came try to strike, but he was too worried about the kicking. Kopylov would do some nasty body kicks, nasty leg kicks, the spinning back kicks were coming out, but he combined it with the long jab, um, good punches to the body, and a couple nice little hooks and uppercuts, man. Ribeiro did get a little aggressive towards the ending of the first round, and kind of had Kopylov a little worried, man. Second round comes. They trying to feel each other out. Kopylov is chilling. I'm watching the fight, and I'm saying, man, Claudio got to close this distance. Take those kicks away from this dude, because if not, it's going to be another rough round. And sure enough, Roman Kopylov throws his left leg in the air and catches this man, Claudio, right in the head for the second round KO. Man. Now I'm 2-2. Second round head kick knockout. CJ Vergara fights Vinicius Salvador in the next bout. That's at flyweight. Now Vinicius Salvador missed weight. Vinicius comes out. Thanks, man. Thanks. So now Vinicius Salvador fights CJ Vergara. Yeah. And Salvador missed weight. Salvador came in at 128 and a half, I think it was, or 128. So he had to pay CJ a little portion of his money, 20%. They go out there and fight. Now, this fight should have been a situation where, I missed weight. I gave this dude my money. I got to find a way to beat this dude up to get my performance money, to get my performance bonus at least. CJ Vergara should look at this and be like, I got to make an example out of this guy. I wasn't quite happy with this fight, man. Thanks, man. Thanks. Now, see, CJ and Vinicius Salvador, they went out there, and CJ's trying to throw some of these strikes. Salvador throwing his mix-ups. He throws his little jab out there. He throws the front kick because that's the way he fights. He likes to use the kicks to establish his range, just like how I talked about Roman Kopylov. Salvador does the same thing, but he throws a lot more front kicks. He throws like the push/front kick. He throws the occasional head kick, but it's just to use it so you can throw the 1-2s, the jab to straight right hand, or try to throw something crazy like a spinning elbow or spinning back fist or something. So CJ's out there. CJ tries to establish a little takedown here and there. Couldn't quite get it like that. But he used his striking. He did really good. He stuck and moved. Um, but the volume wasn't there really like that in the first round. It was pretty moderate. The second round came, and all of a sudden, if you're a fan of Vinicius Salvador, you're scratching your head. This goofball was out here fighting, like, you know when you play a fighting game, and in the midst of playing fighting, you press the little, like, the little select button or something like that, so you start hitting taunts in the middle of your fight. This goofball started taunting in the middle of his fight and acting like as if he was auditioning in a fight scene for a movie or some shit. What are you doing? Your volume is not up there. And you got CJ Vergara all of a sudden catching up. Here now he goes doubling up on his strikes, landing the strikes. But they still want more from him. But guess what? Even though they want more from CJ, CJ's doing just enough. CJ looks to take that round. Third round comes. Vinicius Salvador's corner, which Salvador, even though his name is Vinicius Salvador, he is Brazilian. His corner's going crazy. Stop the stupid taunting. You need to strike. Throw more strikes. He's still doing the stupid. Now he think he Roy Jones now. Bobbing the head, talking to him, putting his hands up, all this stupid stuff. CJ Vergara continues to double up on the output. Not the most eventful fight. CJ Vergara wins. This dude is now upset and shocked that he lost. Salvador, shut the fuck up. You cost yourself the fight, goofball. You missed weight. You gave up 20% of your money. And because of your stupid antics, you lost the fight. So there goes my 3 that I picked wrong on the card. The rest of them, smooth sailing. Now, our final prelim was Gabriel Bonfim out of Brazil, one half of the Bonfim brothers. His brother Ismail fought a little while ago, took a loss. He dared to be great. He took the fight on short notice, respect to it. But Gabriel came in here to fight Trevin Giles. Trevin Giles is already established in the he was established in the middleweight division, picked up some good wins, had some bad losses, but reinvented himself here at 170. This is a guy who fights, and he looks good in some fights, but his fight IQ kind of goes out the window. Bonfim, though, these freaking guys, both out of Brazil, Gabriel and his brother Ismail, these guys are super technical, crazy good. Their jiu-jitsu is solid. Their striking is solid. Now, Trevin comes into this fight with Gabriel. They strike on the feet. Leg kicks are coming out. Trevin trying to throw his jab. Gets 1-2 out there early so he can try to put the hooks together. Gabriel's tapping with the leg kicks. Kicking the leg, kicking the calf. Kicking it up. Throwing some strikes in the mix. All right, cool. Trevin gets tired of the strikes. He wants the level change. So he goes for the takedown. He goes for the double leg. Worst case scenario you put out there for anybody who's a black belt or somewhere near a black belt, even a brown belt or above, is to leave your neck out there. Gabriel says, cool, I'm going to grab this neck as we go down. Grab the neck. Gets the other hand in there. Adjust grip. Ties up the legs. Now you're in the closed guard. You can't quite get out. The squeeze gets worse. Gabriel Bonfim, first round submission. guillotine choke. Trevin Giles taps. Man, I don't know what the hell you doing, man. What are you doing? You striking with this guy and you said, oh, I'm going to go for a straight up double leg and not protect my head against this black belt? And yes, I said it like the Brazilians, not black belt, black belt. Black belt? Oh my God, you're crazy. You're crazy. So now I'm back. I'm back. I rose from the dead. Now here I am, 3-3. As I said, smooth sailing for the rest of this card. Now we get into the main card. Kevin Holland fights Michael Chiesa. Now Michael Chiesa came back from his long time out. He was out. He wasn't competing. He had some things, injury situation. His dad had passed away, if I remember. Was his dad? I think his dad or his mom. One or two had passed away. So he was out for quite some time. I think it was his dad. So he came back for Kevin Holland. This fight was good. Only problem was that Mike Chiesa came in here really showing like he really hasn't fought in quite some time. Chiesa went out there and reverted to like his early years of him fighting in the UFC, where he didn't have the striking really going on. He tried to put the jab out there, and Kevin Holland was just dancing around, picking them apart with jabs. Picked them with the jabs, snapped off a right hand, snapped off the freaking kicks, snapped off a volley of punches, a volley of strikes. Chiesa was trying to go for the takedown. Kevin Holland, because Kevin Holland's such a tall dude for the division, defended the takedowns greatly, very well with the takedowns. I really like Kevin Holland's balance. There was one time where Chiesa actually had him in a waist lock, was looking to pull down and get the takedown, but Holland managed to use the upper half of his body to frame off against the cage and scoot his legs under to maintain the balance so he could get the other leg back now, frame up, and break off for the takedown. It was really good, genius stuff that you seen. After that, Kevin Holland kept striking. Chiesa went for a takedown. Holland defended it, got a mean sprawl, and then locked up a Darce choke. Now, Chiesa was trying to roll out the Darce. Holland followed it. Holland followed him and just locked it up even more, even much worse. Chiesa ends up being submitted by Kevin Holland. And all this happened in the first round. So amazing stuff, man. So if this is something that's crazy to you, listen to this. Mike Chiesa has been submitted by this same one submission about 4 times now. This will be the 4th time he's been submitted by that submission alone. 5 submissions, 5 losses by submission. 4 of those is that same exact one submission, the Darce choke. That is crazy. That's a crazy stat. Kevin Holland had a funny post-fight speech. You should check that out. We had Tony Ferguson versus Bobby Green in the next fight. Tony Ferguson, 5-fight losing streak, was trying to right the wrong here against OG Bobby Green. Good fight took place. Unfortunately, there was a situation in the first round. Bobby Green accidentally eye-poked Tony Ferguson. Tony Ferguson was quite upset. It might have affected him, might have not. because Ferguson kind of looked good. He did piece up Bobby. He pieced up Bobby pretty well until the eye poke happened. Then the rest of the fight was Bobby Green hitting him with the jab, moving around, plugging the left hand in there. Ferguson looked quite slow, but still was kind of there, but was getting hit a lot with some mean shots. But Ferguson was striking back. Third round came. Tony Ferguson kind of looked sluggish. It's kind of like his body's there. He has the cardio and he has the mentality, but his body is kind of like, I'm not sure, man. Word, it is. And it's like his body just wasn't keeping up. Like his body, I don't know. But certain things with certain fighters, you see, as they get older, your mentality's there, strong mentality. You want to go out there and compete. You want to do what you want to do. Skills are there. He got the good cardio, but the body's like, we can't do what we used to do, bro. And eventually in the third round, it kind of showed that way. Eventually, Bobby Green managed to get him down. Bobby Green managed to get a full mount, actually. Then he got in a half. Then it was somewhat of a full. Then he ended up getting the arm triangle. Tony Ferguson ended up going unconscious. That was it, pretty much, yeah. He kind of tapped, went unconscious. Yeah. Bobby Green wins third round. Derek Lewis was on a losing streak. And this motherfucker showed up against Marcos Rogério de Lima out of Brazil. They showed up. Derek Lewis came in super fit. The leanest he's ever looked in his career. This man came in with a six-pack abs, after having a beer belly for so long. It just looked lean. Marcos Rogério de Lima is a big dude, man. Big old Brazilian guy. Derek Lewis, they ring the bell. Well, they did the ring announcements, of course, for all the fights. They ring the bell. Derek Lewis looks at this guy. This guy proceeds to walk towards Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis takes off and proceeds to fly in the air with a flying knee. Nails this dude, De Lima, right in the chin. De Lima falls, and he swarms the hell out of freaking Marcos, man. Oh, my God. 33 seconds later, this fight is done. I should even say 33 seconds later. It only took 33 seconds. Derek Lewis wins this fight. This man celebrates, takes off his pins, hits the DX crotch chops, runs around in a circle, climbs the cage, celebrates some more. Yo. How do you not love Derek Lewis, man? H-Town, man. H-Town. This dude, his post-fight press conference, they said, did you plan that? He said, man, I just threw some bullshit and hope it lands. Yo, you gotta love Derek Lewis, man. But he went out there, did his thing. Big props to him. Alex Pereira for Jan Blachowicz. Alex Pereira just recently beat well, hold on, let me put this off because my headset's gonna die. Hold on. Okay. There we go. All right. So Alex Pereira had beat Israel Adesanya, but lost to Israel Adesanya, so decided to move up to light heavyweight to fight the former UFC light heavyweight champ Jan Blachowicz. Blachowicz was coming off of the fight where it was a draw against Magomed Ankalaev. Um, that fight was supposed to be for the light heavyweight title, but it was a draw. Um, Unfortunately, I feel that fight kind of led to what happened in this fight. Jan Blachowicz showed his age, man. Um, Also, it didn't happen. It didn't help that this fight was in Salt Lake City, Utah, where the elevation is about 400 feet above sea level. 4,000 feet above sea level. So the air is a little different. Um, and if you go out there trying to wrestle your guy, it's not good. It's not good at all. So to see Jan come out there and first thing he does in this round is try to wrestle this guy who's about 6'3", 6'4", weighed in on the scale at 205, but is probably walking around 220 something, and is solid as hell. That's not a great idea. He got super aggressive with the wrestling. Tried to go for a crazy single leg, keep Pereira against the cage. Eventually, he did get Pereira down. Used the jiu-jitsu now, took the back, had a body triangle, which is a body lock, but using your legs. Sort of figure four in the body with the legs. He had that on and tried to get the rear naked choke on Alex Pereira. Big props to Alex. He defended the submission really well. Being a student of Glover Teixeira will do that. And so he defended the submissions very, very good because a couple times they were really close. You got to be, man, I'm telling you, if you watch that thing, or if you could get clips, man, yo, you'll see highlights, man. You'll be like, God damn. But so I'm just reading a text real quick. But yeah, man, yeah, you got this a lot of control. Alex ended up shaking him off, getting him off his back. Cool. So that was Jan's round. Second round came. Jan kept trying to wrestle. Now Pereira's more alert to it. All of a sudden, Pereira's defending these takedowns. There's barely any control on the ground. He gets up. He gets up off his feet. Not much going on. But Alex Pereira starts tagging Jan Blachowicz. And if you don't know Alex Pereira, two-division glory kickboxing champion. This guy beat Israel Adesanya twice in kickboxing. This guy's fought some of the best the world has to offer. You can't just stand with him and think you're going to outstrike him like that. It's not. You got to be at a certain level. And this dude was piecing this man, Jan. Kept tagging the legs. Kept tagging the lead leg of Jan Blachowicz. Kept throwing those shots. Heavy shots. Heavy. Piecing up Jan. Jan looked out of place. He looked complacent. And when he tried to get more takedowns, Pereira kept defending him and making him pay, which is something I like to see a lot of. Pereira's round. Third round came. It was a lot more of that. A lot more of what happened in the second round happened in the third round. Jan was throwing some strikes, but Pereira threw the better strikes. Got hit a lot. Jan goes and Jan manages to catch a takedown within the last minute of the round. of the third round. But unfortunately, he didn't do nothing with it. It was just I took you down, now I'm going to lay here. You didn't advance no position. You didn't strike a lot. And while you're laying on him, Alex Pereira is trying to hit you with the heel of his foot. He's trying to throw some short elbows, some short punches. He's doing all the activity. Eventually, Alex Pereira wins that. He takes the win by split decision. People were upset and thought Alex didn't win. No, Alex won that fight. Come to terms with it. Jan came in with a very ugly game plan, which would have worked had he caught him in the first round with the submission. But because he gave all his time up, all his cardio to the damn takedowns, that was it. Can't do that. Sorry, man. But yeah, man. And then we had the main event. Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje. Gaethje, man. Poirier. This was a rematch from years upon years ago between these two. In which it went to, I think it went like 4 rounds. If I remember, I think it was 4 rounds, right? Yeah, it went 4 rounds back in 2018. It did go 4 rounds. See, I remember. It was a bloodbath that fight. It was a war, that fight. But this one, it ended sooner than I thought it would. I thought this was gonna end in the 3rd round, but it ended in the 2nd. But these guys were going back and forth. Back and forth. Whether it was the leg kicks, whether it was the hooks to the head, the jabs, the 1-2s, Poirier in those uppercuts, Gaethje in his right hand. Yo, these guys were going, man. It was a hell of a fight. None of these strikes were light. These were straight up heavy hitting punches. Everything they threw with like ill intent. But Poirier took that first round though. He landed a little better. I think he had rocked Justin. He did pretty good. I always say Dustin has really good footwork and really good boxing. His boxing's improved quite a lot. But Gaethje's defense and how he went about striking, that has looked a lot better in his last couple fights. And it proved, they did well. But Gaethje was throwing these head kicks. And he threw a couple of these head kicks. And some of them kind of like, they hit Dustin, even though Dustin had the defense up. But the impact was crazy. And there's no load in these head kicks, which is nuts. So the 2nd round came. They're throwing up the same strikes again. They're getting busy. They're getting a little crazy. There's a little hush in the moment. Now Dustin has Justin against the cage. Dustin goes to throw a strike. Then Justin throws a strike. Dustin goes to throw something. And in the midst of Dustin throwing what he had to throw, Justin throws the head kick. Dustin Poirier puts his left side. He puts the left side guard up. But the thing where head kicks are, it's a whole foot. If that foot doesn't catch you directly, if you don't get caught by the tip of the toe or, the tip of the foot, that whole leg gonna wrap around your head. That whole shin, foot, all that. Straight up baseball bat, man. Caught Dustin upside the head. Boom. Dustin isn't just light as a feather, stiff as a board. Just falls, man. Boom. One eye's rolled to the back of the head, the other eye's trying to see what's going on. His right arm is stuck in the sky. Herb Dean, the ref, comes in trying to slide to protect Dustin. Kind of gives Dustin the people's elbow, but Justin wins. Second round KO, and the crowd the whole night went crazy. The whole night, Utah went crazy. But the sound that was made at that main event, woo! Woo! Oh, yeah, and this was all for a BMF title. So Justin Gaethje is your BMF champion right now. Which also means now he's going to be the number one contender possibly. And he could fight the current lightweight champion, Islam Makhachev. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So with that said, what's going on this week? See, that's why I like when there's eventful stuff. I could put an hour into what's happening last week and now this week. So this week we got some events. And I'm going to talk about them. We got UFC Fight Night, which is going to take place in Nashville, Tennessee on Saturday. We have Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz, which takes place on Saturday as well. That's going to be, while the UFC event's going to be on ESPN Plus, the Paul Diaz event is going to be co-promoted with not only the Zone Boxing, but ESPN Plus as well. This was something that they decided to do. MVP, I guess, Matchroom. I don't know. MVP, I guess, is the promotion there. But since Jake Paul signed this deal with the PFL, Professional Fighters League, he has this super fight deal. So whenever he's fighting, those fights get promoted on ESPN. But he's signed with fights on the Zone. So the Zone is going to get some of this share, but ESPN is going to get that share as well as far as pay-per-view buys go. Now, the promotion for this card is non-existent. It's non-existent AF. Because regardless of what, Nate Diaz is there. Nate Diaz is there to get paid. So he don't give a shit. Everybody knows who Nate Diaz is. Jake Paul, on the other hand, you're the social media boxer, the YouTube boxer guy. You did your boxing thing. And while I give credit where credit is due, Jake Paul did not fight the highest level of boxers, but he did go out there and get these fights. He went and got paid. His opponents got paid. So I can't get mad at that. If you brought the pay-per-views, I'm mad at you, though. But with that said, though, he's fighting Nate Diaz on Saturday. And if you're not interested in that fight, do be interested in the co-main event where Amanda Serrano will defend her undisputed featherweight titles against Heather Hardy. Yeah. She'll be defending her titles against Heather Hardy. Heather Hardy was a former featherweight champ in one part. At one point in her career. Really good girl out of Brooklyn. I'm a fan. She's up there in age, though. She's like 40, 41 now. They fought a couple years ago. It kind of got messy and after the fight, but respect. Heather's going to get another shot here. We also got a little bit of some MMA boxing here as Chris Avila fights Jeremy Stevens, former UFC standout. Ashton Style, who's 9-0, faces William Silva. At lightweight, should I see a Green who's 12-0, who's like a women's super middleweight, will be fighting Olivia Curry who's 7-1. Shanasia Green is good. 12-0. This girl is good. There's not many female fighters I can say look at and be like, yo, she's really solid. Nah. This girl is good. This girl gives you who is it? Yeah, definitely. Definitely gives you Ann Wolf vibes. There you go. She gives you Ann Wolf vibes. It's like that. It's like that. Should I see a Green? It's like that. So if you're willing to find a way you can get a stream to watch this, or if you want to cough up the money to watch it, you watch it. But I'm telling you right now, there's boxes on this card you really want to pay attention to. The 165-pound catchweight bout between Kevin Newman III and Culisto Madera, who's 14-3. Catch that joint. Alan Sanchez versus Angel Beltran at welterweight. The Mexican Pride fight. Do watch that. Should I see a Green? You gotta catch that. With even though Jake Paul, Nate Diaz, you could have thrown that fight right off this card, and it's still worth the watch. Really good, talented people on this card. But Shadasia Green, she's for real. Catch that, man. If you can catch that. But yeah, that's on Saturday. So we have two events on Friday. That's the door. PFL 7 door. PFL 7 and One Fight Night 13 on Friday. Now, depending on how my streaming schedule goes, they're new, but I'm going to try. We got some good fights on here. We got Billy. Well, this is mainly a 10-fight card, but the tournament fights. Oh shit! Wait a second. Oh yeah, Kabulayev got injured. Yeah, so Chris Wade is back. Let's go. All right. So we got to go from the early fights. This is the semifinals. So what we got? We got Billy Elikana, who's 5-1, versus Chuck Campbell. What was the door? Was anything left there? Chuck Campbell, 205. I'm talking my niece. Chelsea Hackett, who fought on the Contender Series against Victoria Leonardo. Unfortunately, she had lost. She's fighting Kai Bennett here. And Kai Bennett fought out of Invicta. Actually, they're pretty good. Invicta debut had tore up this girl. She fought regionally, a couple fights here and there. But Kai Bennett, she a cutie. Chelsea Hackett, that's a cutie too. Do check them out though. Young ladies, one out of Elevation Fight Team in Colorado. Hackett's out of Australia. Yeah, man. Catch it if you have the time. This is on ESPN Plus. So This is a women's flyweight bout. They show love to the lighter weight classes. Um, we got Anthony Ivy, who's 11-7, versus Carson Hardman, who's 12-3 at welterweight. Ivy's name sounds familiar. I feel like he fought in LFA, but he also fought in the Contender Series. See, yeah, he did fight in the UFC. Yeah, he fought Barberina. But yeah, Christian Aguilera beat him with a hook. See, I remember somewhere, but he was fighting in Fury. Yeah, he had a nasty losing streak, man. He had a 5-fight losing streak, and he finally got out of it most recently with this 3-fight win streak. Jesus. But yeah, that's gonna happen. The, the super hottie Desiree Yanez is gonna be fighting on this card. She's fighting Lisa Moulding. Yanez is 7-4. She fought at Bellator. She fought on Combate Americas, aka Combate Global. She's out of Texas too, if I remember correctly. Let me just make sure. Yeah, I was right. See, I remember. Yeah, Desiree is fine, man. That's a fine lady, yo. Woo! She find Lisa Maldin. Now, if I remember, I think Maldin tried out for the Contender Series. I think she also fought on Invicta too. Oh no, I'm bullshitting. She fought on LFA. See, I get all my regional promotions wrong. But Maldin's good. Maldin's 5-3. Yanez is 7-4. Pretty good stuff there, man. We got Thad John, who's 5-0, fighting Ali Omar, who's 5-2. These fights don't. These are just gonna be warm-up fights for the main card. So the main card is Elvin Espinoza, who's 8-0 out of Argentina, versus Keone Diggs. Now Diggs is an interesting case, man. Keone Diggs is 36 years old. He fought for Bellator for a good time. Not a long time, but a good time. He picked up like 4 or 5 fights for Bellator. But he just aged out, man. They let him go. He aged out. And something happened. Something happened with him. I think it was a weight miss or some crazy thing had happened, so they let him go. Yo, what up, Ted? But yeah, man. They let him go. See, I got Glick up in here, man. Yo, so yeah, so Diggs is there, Espinoza there. How's everything going, by the way, bro? Espinoza is A&R to Argentina. This is gonna be a lightweight bout. There you go. He's 30 years old. He's never been finished. He's 8-0. Of course, he's never been finished. But yeah. None of these guys he fought, I know. But he got 7 finishes in his career. Out of that 8 wins, 7 finishes. So this should be a very interesting fight. Argentinian who got crazy speed then, crazy skills, and finishing rate. Keone Diggs, the heavy hand Hawaiian. I like that. So we got the semifinal of Martin Hamlet, who's 12-4, versus Impa Kasanganai. So Kasanganai's chasing the million. He was with the UFC. He was on the wrong side of a highlight reel knockout. They released him. He took another loss. He had taken another loss. He came back. Here, he managed to get signed by the PFL. And so far, so good. Good mixture of wrestling. His defense is super awkward, but his striking's gotten a lot better. But it's that wrestling, that grappling, which is so good, man. But he's going up against a man out of Norway by the name of Martin Hamlet. And Hamlet, 5 decisions, 7 wins by finish. So that's the 12. He's only been finished 4 times, though. Twice by KO TKO, twice by submission. But he's on a 3-fight win streak. And I like that. I like that. He's done pretty good for himself. He has a nasty submission game. Even though he can strike, his submissions are what make him really, really good. Super ruthless. Once he gets on you, he'll chain things up. He'll lock you down. Next thing you know, you probably going to sleep. Or you probably screaming for your life because something's about to get ripped off your body, man. But always fun to watch. The next fight, which is on this main card portion, Gabriel Alves Braga, who's 11-0. The guy who just gave the pink slip to Marlon Moraes as he finished that dude in the first round. Undefeated. Will now be fighting Chris Wade because Mavlid Khabulaev out of Russia is injured. So we got Chris Wade. Now, why is Chris Wade here? Chris Wade in the tournament had 5 points. Chris Wade needed Brendan Loughnane, who was last year's champ, to win, so he could get in. Not only did Brendan Loughnane lose to a newcomer that no one had a clue about, but because that newcomer won in the first round, Chris Wade got knocked out the tournament as well. But now because Khabulaev is out, Wade's points get accumulated because Brendan Loughnane had less points than he did. And so Chris Wade is back. Man, this whole tournament has been a clusterfuck of what the fuck. I swear to God. But Chris Wade's done pretty good for himself. Always making it to the semifinal or a final, but never wins the big one. That's the story of Chris Wade in this PFL tournament. Semifinalist in the lightweight tournament, made it to the finals and gets washed up. Man, you can't ask for more bad luck, but luck seems to have smiled upon him because he's going to be here fighting Braga. Good kickboxing skills, improved striking with the boxing and footwork, has the wrestling game. Could give Braga some trouble. Here's the thing, though. Braga is amazingly fast. Braga uses his range really well, and Braga has a nasty submission game. The only problem is, unless you did the tape study, you can't really tell about the submission game. I want to see how his takedown defense is going to hold up against Wade, because Wade is definitely going to look for wrestling. If Wade can't get the wrestling and he depends on his feet, he might get slapped. This is going to be a fun fight to watch. Whoever wins this gets into the final. The next fight, Josh Silveria versus Ty Flores. Pretty much put, Ty Flores is good at everything, but not great at anything. He has a really good skill set, but it's not like, oh, he's an exceptional grappler. No, he's a good grappler. Oh, his striking is A1. No, his striking is pretty good. His submission, woo! That's Gracie level submission skills. Nah, it's just, it gets him by. That's what Ty Flores brings. But what he has, though, he has heart. He has a lot of heart because he's willing to take some shots, man. His chin is solid. His heart will carry him throughout the fight, regardless of how ugly the fight will look. His cardio will get him through the fight, regardless of how grueling the fight looks. Ty Flores is weird, but Ty Flores is a fighter's fighter, man. But he's going up against Josh Silveria. Big-time wrestler, collegiate wrestler, Josh Silveria. His dad is one of the top coaches in American Top Team in honing Silveria, man. Silveria fought in the UFC back early years. Yeah. He fought Sakuraba back in China. China, whoa! Racism. I said China. I mean Japan. Is that stereotype? That stereotyping, or is that racism? They would consider that racism at this age because I said China is Japan. I can't say it because everybody looking like, oh shit, I'm about to get canceled. But check this out. Big time wrestling, nasty submission skills. His hands are getting better. His cardio is pretty good. Out of these 11 wins, 10 are by finish. 1 decision. He's only lost 1 fight by decision. And he's on a 2-fight win streak. Where his last fight, the dude's knee, his knee popped. Dude went to what is it? Yeah. Silveria went for the takedown and dude's knee popped. Knee just went bloom. And that sucked. But the other guy, he submitted pretty easy. So you got that fight. This is gonna be grueling. It's gonna be a matter of whose gas tank holds and who does more of the two. Flores is gonna give Silveria some problems. But Silveria, if Flores doesn't defend those takedowns well, he's gonna get handled. Which leaves us to our main event here. Bubba Jenkins versus Jesus Pinedo. Now, Bubba Jenkins, my brother in Christ, 21-6. Former Bellator standout. Left, got released. Well, actually, no, he worked his contract out. They didn't re-sign him. He left. Went over to Brave. Picked up the Brave featherweight title. Came over here. And has done pretty well for himself. He hasn't won a tournament yet. But he's made some pretty good money. And is being a lot of good names. Bubba Jenkins is here, y'all. Bubba Jenkins done really good. Getting a lot of these finishes out of the way. Being dudes up, man. He beat Chris Wade this year. Beat Chris Wade by unanimous decision. Sung Bing Joe submitted that dude. This man has 11 wins by finish and 10. Count them. 10 by decision. He's only been stopped 5 times. And 1 loss is by decision. But Jesus Pinedo out of Peru, I said it earlier this year, these Peruvian fighters, you got to be careful of. Actually, I said this last year during the Contender Series that these dudes are something. Peru Peru got some fighters. But the thing is that since the lockdown, the pandemic, and a lot of things happened, it's been taking some time for some countries to really get back to things, to get back to the wave of things. But Peru is a hotbed for fighters, man. And if you paid attention for this year alone, these Peruvian fighters are showing up, yo. You know what I mean? Some of these Peruvian fighters out here, for real. I'm telling you, Peruvian fighters are going to take off like Mexican fighters have. They got heart, they got chins, and they showing technique. But that's going to be what's on the PFL card on Friday. The prelims start at 6:30, so the main card is gonna start at 9. And that's gonna be on ESPN Plus. But if you got Amazon Prime Video, you're gonna be watching one because I'm gonna be watching one, of course. So one Fight Night 13 is holding down one of the best kickboxing bouts you can have this year. Chingiz Alizov faces Marat Grigorian, man. For the one featherweight kickboxing title. Oh my God. Chingiz Alizov put away Superbond. Marat Grigorian is climbing the ladder, man. These dudes are one's a technical finisher and one's a technical brute style finisher in Alizov. Alizov got no mercy on anybody. You want to talk about a monster? Chingiz Alizov is a monster, bro. Oh man, this is gonna be a fun main event fight. But with the rest of this card, which is not really a big card, not really that long of a card. We got John Lo Mark Santiago, who's 6-0 undefeated right now, against Enk Orgil Batakul. No, Batakul. There you go. Enk Orgil Batakul. There you go, Batakul. Hey, we got it. Out of Mongolia, facing Sangyao out of the Philippines. Pretty good, dog. Oh, so that's going to be a bantamweight mixed martial arts bout. Then we're followed by 2 kickboxing bouts. One traditional kickboxing and then one Muay Thai. As Iraj Azizpour, the big man out of Iran, fights Ahmed Kernjik out of, I'm trying to think, that's Bosnia, right? That's Bosnia, huh? Yep, Bosnia. See ya. Herzegovina. Yes, I know. I have a friend of mine from like junior high. His name was Harris. He's out of Bosnia, so I remember that flag. I remember that flag pretty well. That was my dude, man. We had a sidebar. We had because we had perfect attendance during the year, so we had the boat ride. You know, if you have perfect attendance, you go on the boat ride, you get to eat, you do all that cool stuff. And we went on the boat ride, and my dude got seasick. And the whole time he's holding on the rail with his head overboard. And he's just like hovering his poor head, and he's just looking around. Oh, I don't feel good. Oh, man, well. Oh, and he's dry heaving. So like about 15 or so minutes pass by, we go back. We're like, yo, Harris, you going? He's blowing chunks overboard, just blowing chunks. Oh man, it was crazy. He blew chunks for like a solid 20 minutes. Then he came out. Came back. He was like, yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. He had his soda. He was just chilling though. Like nothing happened, mind you. We just seen this man blow chunks. But other than that, we got the Muay Thai bout. Flyweight Muay Thai. As Elias Mahmoudi, yeah, Mahmoudi had a good fight, man. A little while ago. Made his debut. No, yeah. He made his debut. No. No, he did have a fight. We seen Mahmoudi fight. What the fuck? Oh no, this is the wrong guy. My fault. We haven't seen Mahmoudi fight in a minute. My fault. Wrong guy. I confused him with the other cat that came in this like last month or so. My fault. But Mahmoudi, yes, Mahmoudi's been here for a minute. There you go. Mahmoudi's been here for a minute. This guy that he's fighting against fought he fought Rod Tang. He got knocked out by Rod Tang. Rod Tang knocked him with the elbow. Yeah, so this will be his second one championship bout. Juarez Tabarez. He came in on late notice because was it Superleg? Superleg got injured. So he fought, yeah, Ratang fought Tabarez. Yeah, Tabarez put him away bad, man. Not Tabarez. Ratang put Tabarez away bad. But yeah. This would be a good bout though. Mahmoudi hasn't fought in a minute. But Mahmoudi's very technical. Um so I will look to see how this one turns out. Um yes. He's from France, but it's like Middle Eastern France. Yeah. We'll check it out, man. We also got another fight. This is straight up heavyweight. Um, Marcus Buchecha, who's like a multi-time Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu champion. This dude, Buchecha, is a monster. My God. Yo, if he locks your legs, you are dead. You are dead. Let me tell you. Anyhow, he gets a back mount, a full mount. He gets a tie up on your legs. You're dead. You might as well just tap before the lock is in. This is how bad this dude. This dude is a 260-pound chiseled monster who doesn't hesitate to rip your arms, to attempt to rip your arms or your legs from your body. It is position, submission. Tendons and ligaments mean nothing to this man. You better tap, okay? He's fighting Umar Kane. Now, who Umar Kane is? That's the dude that we all know as Rug Rug. Rug Rug is out of freaking Senegal, who is a big-time wrestler, but he got hands, boy. And he's only 5-1, but he a big boy, man. It's a big dude. This is two big-ass dudes. This is as basic as mixed martial arts gets between your striker, your grappling bases. This is like a rematch of Gracie Shamrock almost. This is how far back it goes to like the foundations of mixed martial arts. Buchecha is a world-renowned grappler, submissionist. Kane is a big-time Senegalese, like Commonwealth champion of some sort. Big dude, big-time wrestler. So we're gonna see what that brings. That brings some violence. Well, it's gonna bring some violence because when Kane throws with ill intentions, boy. He said Jonathan wants to call in. Don't let him. What's good, Jay? What's going on, brother? You good? You good? I streamed the RIZIN Bellator event so you can watch it. I did that yesterday. Because I needed to watch it for sure. But, if I didn't, I also said it during the stream. If I didn't, you were going to complain that I didn't show no love to Bellator. So I did. We also got Anna Jarunsak out of Thailand versus Christina Morales. Why did I say that like that? Well, Morales is out of Spain, man. And she pretty good. She pretty good. But there's gonna be high level kickboxing. This is the women's atom weights. I think it's gonna be an atom weight or strawweight bout right here. But the ladies gonna bring it. Ladies gonna bring it. Then we got John Lineker. John Lineker, the legend, versus Jae-Won Kim. This is gonna be a featherweight bout for real. Lineker moving up weight. This is interesting. I guess he is. John Lineker, man, former bantamweight champion. Lost the belt recently after that 4th round war against Fabricio de Andrade, man. The boy got strength, but he got pieced up bad, man. De Andrade put that work on him, boy. But he's going up against Jae-Won Kim. Lineker got a chin, and Lineker does not, it's hard for Lineker to back up in fights. De Andrade made him back up in that fight, man. But he's going to be fighting the fighting god, Jae-Won Kim. And Kim is that dude, yo. Kim did take a loss his last fight. But Kim's been racking up some wins and losses in the mix. 9 wins 10 by finish, 3 by decision. He's been stopped 6 times, 4 by strikes, 2 by submission. He has 1 decision. Yeah. Yeah, man. That Bellator card was pretty good, bro. It was pretty good. I ain't gonna lie. Bellator was pretty. It was. You know what? You know what? The eye poke thing upset me. Vader Ortega got robbed in Japan. That kind of upset me. But the rest of the card, I could live with it. Oh, yeah, and I know you was laughing at Danny Sabatello's loss because you a whole ass hater. I know that. You're a hater. You're a hater. I know you was cheering his loss. You was probably over there. That's what you get for talking all that smack. Danny Sabatello, the dude that fought Rafion Stotts before Rafion lost to Apache Mix, that dude. But yeah, we got David Kiria. Oh shit. Kiria out of Georgia, the District of Georgia, versus Tawan Chai PK Cyan Chai. They're gonna be fighting kickboxing. Kiria's another beast. Damn. This is gonna be ugly. This is gonna be a what you call it? That's another featherweight kickboxing bout. And whoever wins this one might be next in line for the fight to fight for the featherweight title, depending on what happens. But shit, that's gonna be nasty. Kiria fought for Glory Kickboxing, and he's another little fucking monster himself. God damn. Thailand versus this District of Georgia. Georgia in the house. Then we got a grappling bout, which is actually kind of somewhat of a super fight, as Mikey Musumeci, the current grappling champion. I think he's a 125 grappling champion. Or the bantamweight champion. I think he's the flyweight champion. But yeah, it'd be for Mikey Musumeci's submission grappling title. He'll be fighting Jared Brooks, who is one flyweight champion right now. The Monkey God. Crazy. That's gonna be crazy. Jared Brooks, even though he did slam himself, he in the attempts of slamming somebody, slammed himself unconscious. Yo, this should be fun. Musumeci, big kid, high level grappling. Brooks, really damn good grappling with wrestling with the mix of jiu-jitsu, and he's very fast on the scrambles. So I would like to see how this one fares. I know the goal is to get Musumeci. Musumeci wants to have a little something to do with Demetrius Johnson, whether it's a grappling bout or a mixed rules bout. He wants to try it. We'll see what happens down the road. But yo, that card's on Friday too. And I think I'm gonna be tuned into the one card because I actually have an ESPN Plus subscription. So I gonna have to watch the one card, stream the PFL card sometime in between. I will get the time. And I'll probably do it right after the one card. And then have the time this way when I wake up and do all the other fun stuff. We can watch the UFC. Yeah. So that leaves us with the UFC Fight Night card. Oh, UFC Fight Night card. We're going back to Nashville, man, as Corey Sandhagen faces Rob Font. Now, my dude Rob Font just beat Adrian Yanez. Rob Font is taking this fight on short notice. Because Corey Sandhagen was supposed to fight Usman Nurmagomedov. I was a little more confident in a pick there. I am still going to take Rob Font in this fight before I break this down. But I'm going to take Rob Font in this fight. I just want to say that before I start. Corey Sandhagen is a beast, but I like Rob Font. So, 12 fights on this card. This card starts at 6 o'clock Eastern time on ESPN Plus. Yeah, ESPN Plus, or probably ESPN. Oh, it's just gonna be on ESPN. All right, so ESPN Plus. You can catch it on both of those. Nashville, Tennessee, 12 fights, 12 fight card so far. One of these fights wasn't even gonna happen, but thank God they got a fill-in. Right? They did get a fill-in, right? Is it this fight? Or is it next week? Yeah, they did. Yeah, they got the fight, the fill-in for Sean Woodson. So thank God. Okay. Yeah, Sean Woodson had damn near 3 cancellations. He was supposed to fight Steve Garcia. They said, nah. Jesse Butler was there, but Butler threw. And then Marion Santos came and he said, nah, I'm gone. Boy, this was rough. And then Said Nurmagomedov pulled out against Kyler Phillips. Oh, boy. But, yo. Ode Osborne versus Asu Almabayev. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Asu Almabayev faces Ode Osborne. Ode Osborne is improving himself a little bit. Big props to Jamaican sensation. I think he's training. Yeah, training with Syndicate. Did a little bit of elevation. He beat Charles Johnson Energy by split decision. Before that, he got knocked up by Tyson Nam. Beat Zaruk Adeshev and CJ Vergara. Guy got good striking. Okay, because it's old. Anyway, yeah, my knee. I don't know. My knee's weird. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, Jessica, I'm 36 years old, bro. I've seen stuff like that already. Jesus Christ. Good kickboxing. Kind of leaves himself open from time to time, but now he's implementing more of a grappling game with his overall striking game. So looks pretty good. Zulfikar Asu Almabayev, who's 17-2. He's 29 years old. And another Kazakhstani. We got another one. We had Maxim the other day. We also have Shavkat Rakhmonov. Boy, these dudes are coming out by the woodwork. He's only been finished once in his career. He has 2 losses, but one of them is by submission. The other one's by decision. But he has 11 wins by finish and 6 by decision. Shit. And he's currently riding a 13-fight win streak. Jesus. Oh my God, man. That's crazy. Rear naked, decision, strike, submission. And his game is his submission game. And if there's anything that's bad about O'Day's there to get submitted. Fuck. I might have to take the Kazakhstani. They come in very technical and they know how to go for the kill for these finishers. I like O'Day. O'Day did pick up a win last time out. I don't think O'Day is gonna be able to deal with this guy here. He might, but if this dude is really about his grappling, it's gonna be problematic, man. But we'll see. We got Sean Woodson versus Denis Bazooka. Sean Woodson, the sniper, aka goddamn anomaly, because this guy is 31 years old. He's 6'2" with the 79-inch reach for no reason. He's only been finished one time, and that's by submission. Other than that, he got 4 wins by finish and 5 by decision. And that one submission loss comes in the hands of Julian Arosa. Boy, oh boy. But my boy Bazooka, he comes from the Cerro. He trains out here. He trains out here in New York. This guy's been trying to get an opportunity to come to the UFC. And he's been out and he fought for the Contender Series. But they ain't throw him nothing, man. You know, he lost to Melsick, but he came back and got a win against that Romero dude. But they said, let's wait and see. Last two fights, 2 finishes. No, he only lost by decision. 5 wins by finish and 6 by decision. 11-2. Dennis is a bad dude, man. I want to see how he handles, yo. 70-inch reach and 5'9". It's not the greatest training with Sarah Longo. The reach discrepancy is going to be insane. But he got a skill set, man. I don't know. I might go on my fellow New Yorker, but we'll see. We got Jake Hadley out of the UK, 10-1 versus Cody Durden. Jake Hadley, good submission skills. Fought with Cage Warriors. Young kid too. 26. Trained with the OG Vaughn Lee. 8 wins by finish. 10 wins overall. The 2 by decision. He only had 1 loss, and that was against Alan Nascimento. But he beat Malcolm Gordon and he beat Carlos Caldelario. Caldelario, tough fight, but he won that. Malcolm Gordon, I don't really look at. He beat Malcolm Gordon on the goddamn feet. Let's be for real, man. That's crazy. Against Cody Durden, though, now Hadley got good submission skills. I don't think you ready to deal with that pace that Cody Durden puts on people. Dirty Durden, man, 5'7" with the 67-inch reach, representing Georgia and representing that team, man. You represent that team, boy. The ATT. 11 wins by finish. He's only been submitted 3 times. He lost by finish, was only submissions, and he has 1 decision loss. But he's currently riding a 3-fight win streak where he beat JP Bays, Carlos Mota. You know, everybody love Mota. He finished Mota, and he beat Charles Johnson. high level grappling. He got a crazy scramble ability, but he's always in your face, man. Constantly in your face. No breathing room. Never lost. Um, that's gonna be pretty good. I'll take Cody Durden on that one. We got Billy Q versus Damon Jackson. These two dudes got good range. Um, Billy Q's always there for a fight though. But you're going up against an experienced dude in Damon. Billy Quarantillo, 17-5, 34 years old, 5'10 with the 70-inch reach, man. He was born here in the NY, but trains out of Tampa, man. And our boy, man, 17 wins, 3 losses by decision, and 2 by technical knockout, KO, TKO. The KO really was from damn Edson Barboza's last fight out, and he's 1-3 in his last 4. Or no, 2-3 in his last 4. 2-3 in his last 5, I should say. My fault. I can't do math right. 2-3 in his last 5. He lost to Barboza, beat Alexander Hernandez, lost to Burgos, beat Gabriel Benitez, lost to Gavin Tucker. Ah, man. My boy need a win, man. But he going up against Damon. And Damon picked up a good win a little while ago. Who he beat? He beat my dude. Yeah, he beat Ige. No, he didn't beat Ige. He beat Sabatini. He got finished by Ige. That's right. Ige knocked that dude out. Sabatini he beat. And he was on a 4-fight win streak. He finished Charles Rose. He beat Charles Rosa. Finished Ken Weller-Kirk. Beat Daniel Argueta, even though he almost got finished by Daniel Argueta. And then beat Pat Sabatini first round. But then got knocked out by Dan Ige. Crazy jiu-jitsu that dude got. He's getting better with his hands. 34 years old, 5'11" with the 71-inch reach. Representing that Texas own Fortis MMA, man. I love Fortis. Shout out to Darren Williams, former Dallas Maverick, former Utah Jazz player, Darren Williams. Deron Williams, however you want to say it, feel free. But yeah, this dude, 4 wins by KO, TKO, 15 by submission. Dang. Where he's been knocked out 4 times. He submitted once. That's where I'm like, Now the next fight in the prelim, Jeremiah Wells, 12-2-1 versus Khalistan Harris out of Georgetown, GT Guyana. Yeah, boy. 18-5. Khalistan got slick jiu-jitsu, but he got hands. He got a heavy power, especially that right hand. Jeremiah Wells out of Philadelphia. Henzo Gracie, Philly team member. He got some dangerous striking himself, but his jiu-jitsu, dangerous jiu-jitsu. Wells beat Semmelsberger. I think Wells got dropped. Wells got dropped every round, but managed to use the jiu-jitsu to get control and win. He knocked out Court McGee. He submitted Blood Diamond. He freaking annihilated Warley Alves. That's what he's done since the UFC. Khalistan had some good wins. He unfortunately ended up fighting Shavkat Rakhmonov. But he came back. He beat Jared Gooden. But yeah, man, that boy got nasty hook them. Big power shot them. Oh my God. You put fools to sleep, boy. But big power, but he still got to sharpen his skills. His skills are still kind of raw. But we'll see how this fight goes. My brain says Wells, but my heart says Harris. So we'll see. Raoni Barcelos fights in the next fight at bantamweight against Kyler Phillips, the Matrix. Phillips represents ATT. He's good. He got dynamic striking. He got good wrestling. Cardio is a little iffy. And sometimes he could get lost in a fight. Ronnie Barcelos is kind of up there in age. He's been rocked a couple times. He took a bad loss a little while ago. Um, yeah, his last fight actually. His last fight, he got knocked out. He beat Trevin Jones, and then he lost to Victor Henry before that. He lost to Timur Valiev before that. So it's kind of like, yeah, damned if you do, damned if you don't. I think Barcelos might be able to still pull a little bit of that speed and wrap up Kyler Phillips. It got to be with the jiu-jitsu, but he's got to not let off the gas, man. The cardio got to carry him through this fight. If not, Kyler's going to be able to just stick and move, use the footwork to put out some really good kicks. You can't do this crazy spinning shit, though, Kyler, because you're going to leave your back exposed to get taken. So, Kyler Phillips, keep it with the good strikes. You got good kicks. You got a good Taekwondo background. Throw that a little bit there. Get your good strikes in there. And when you're able to get a takedown, get a takedown. When you're able to wrap yourself on Roundy, go ahead. If not, you're going to get tagged up and then hit with some really dumb shit that's going to put you away. But I'll go with Ronnie Barcelos on that one, probably. Next one, probably a fight of the night. Ignacio Bahamondes fights Ludovic Klein. Ludovic Klein, a guy I like, the highlight out of Slovakia. 28 years old. Currently riding a 2-fight win streak. Mason Jones and a split win against Devontae Smith. His man's moved up. It says moving up to lightweight. Looked good. His cardio's held up. His boxing is mean. His boxing is mean. As far as his check hooks go and his counter shots go, when he puts those hands, yo, you're done. He puts a foot to you, you're done. That boxing, kickboxing mix is dangerous, man. But la voila. La jaula. There you go, la jaula. Ignacio Bahamondes. 25 years old, 6'3", with the 75.5-inch reach, training out of Chicago, man. This dude's never been knocked out. He's only lost the 4 times, 2 to submission, 2 to decision. Got 1 submission on his ledger, but 9 wins by strikes. Trey Ogden he beat. Zurong he submitted in his single submission win. And Roosevelt Roberts, he knocked that dude out when he didn't even have to knock him out because he was already winning by decision. Bahamondes, when he strikes, it looks like he's striking from across the street. That shit is bonkers, bro. You can't be that tall, that long, and just picking people off from like long range is just nuts. He's just going to stand forward, throw punches, a lot of the times ignore defense. So you're going to hit him back, but he's going to hit you harder and with probably 2 or 3 times more of the shots. The straight up kick is nasty that he fires. But, yo, his striking and combination is what's insane. The volume. The volume just messes you up. And then he just mixes it up with a random strike. And the random strike, if it catches you, you're done. This is going to be fire, man. I just want to know if Ludovic doesn't get his body shots going, then Ignacio's going to eat him up on volume. But if not, then Klein will probably take this. I'm still shaky on that one. Next fight, Tanner Boser gets another light heavyweight fight against Stipe Miocic trained Alexa Kamer, man. Kamer 6-2. A dude who's still kind of not refined yet either, but he's been taking long layoffs. Alexa Kamer has, man. Dude's 27. He's a young guy. 6'1", 74-inch reach. Um, he's out of Bosnia, but trains in Ohio, man. With that SFT with Stipe Miocic, man. He's only lost by decision, and that's where I give him some credit. He can wrestle, but he has to refine that wrestling. He got a lot of finishes. 5 finishes by knockout or technical knockout, 1 by decision. So if he doesn't manage to rock you on the feet to put you away, he'll take you to the ground and beat you on ground and pound. He also has about 4 fights as an amateur, which ain't bad. So you pick up a little bit, a little something, something extra. You know what I mean? He's lost 2 losses though. William Knight, who's big as shit, but his cardio is shit, and Nicola Nagamuranu, who was still pretty solid. He lost to that guy by split decision. So respect. Nagamuranu's still dangerous. He has a good cardio, just mixes his skills pretty well. But Tanner Bozer, Big Bozer was a heavyweight. Beat my dude Felipe Lenz. And who was it too? I forgot who else he dogged. But Tanner Bozer, 20-10. Our boy's 32, 6'2" with the 75.5-inch reach. Who did he dog? Yeah, he dogged Pessoa. There you go. He lost against Lasky. Split decision lost against Alir Latifi. Beat OSP. But then lost to Nascimento by split decision. And then Kudalaba beat him on ground and pound. Which, fuck, if you lose to Ion Kudalaba, I don't know what the fuck to say to you, man. Especially the way Ion beat him. Ion pretty much took him down and then just said, like, yo, I'm just gonna fuck you up here. Psh, bad. But this should be a straight up fight between these two. Kamer's gonna wrestle a little bit or a lot, depending. But Tanner Bozer should just keep this at range, keep the striking going. Hopefully, he has the takedown defense to handle Kamer and just keep this fight standing and just piece him up, man. Piece him up. We'll take Bozer on this one. Gavin Tucker versus Diego Lopez. Depending on who's the underdog, that's what I'm gonna take. Gavin Tucker out of Canada, 13-2. We haven't seen him fight in a while. Unfortunately, this guy was out here, and then he got knocked the fuck out, and then we didn't see him for a while. He's 37 years old, 5'6" with a 66-inch reach. Yeah. Damn, it's been 2 years. Two years, damn it. 2 years and then some. Yeah, then he get knocked him out 22 seconds. Before that, he beat Billy Q, Justin James, and Sung Woo Choi. Billy Q beat by decision, but submitted Jason James and Choi. But yeah, man. Tucker just a hard body dude. A stocky dude. He's kind of like Sean Brady build. They move forward. Nice little short combinations. Nice fighting in the inside. Short range. Mixes it up with good wrestling and takedowns. But Diego Lopez, 21-6. The dude that just gave Movsar Evloev nightmares during their fight the last time we seen him, man. Fuck. 19 wins by finish, 2 by decision. He's 2 losses by KO. But bro, this dude's submission skills are insane. And he doesn't stop, man. He got good cardio to put up those submissions. He just throws shit up. And everything just locks up and it's like, shit. It's like, shit, son. Why are you doing this for? But I like him a lot, though. I like him. I find him to be very entertaining. But boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy. Gavin Tucker's going to be in trouble. This is a 145-pound fight. Yeah. We're gonna see trouble here. Okay, so the Bahamondes fight kicks off the main card. Okay, so the main card starts at 9 o'clock. Just to let y'all know. So yeah, I'll take the whoever's gonna be the underdog is who I'll take here. Next fight is at 2:05. Kennedy and Shekwu versus Dustin Jacoby. Jacoby's 18-7-1. Kennedy is 12-3. Now, win, lose, or draw, I always take Dustin Jacoby. Dustin Jacoby is 35 years old, 6'3", with a 36-inch reach, represent Factory X. Fun little bit of information. If you did not know this, my boy was fighting in kickboxing. A little piece of information that you don't know. He got knocked out by Alex Pereira in the first round of the kickboxing bout. Also, another piece of information you might not know. My boy needs a win. He's on a 2-fight losing streak, losing to Asmat Mirzakanov last fight out, and then losing to Khalil Roundtree before that. Good kickboxing, good volume. Wrestling defense is okay. It's actually good. It's good, not very good. It's good. But his volume's good. His power's good. The cardio, because he comes in with a strong 2 rounds. The third round, he kind of fades. But what he does it pretty well. And Kennedy, he might get the advantage, but Kennedy's a big dude, man. The African Savage out of Nigeria. 31 years old, 6'5", with the 83-inch reach. Another representative of Fortis MMA. 8 wins by strikes, 1 by submission, and 3 wins by decision. He's lost once by any way he could lose. Strikes, he's lost by. Submission, he's lost by. Decision, he's lost by. 1 each. But, sorry, hold on. Currently riding a 3-fight win streak. He beat Carl Roberson by finish. Leon Kudalaba he beat by finish, strikes. And Devin Clark he submitted. Actually choked that man out bad. Jesus Christ, he did ugly choke him. But yeah, man, he's taking some losses, but he's gotten things together. He's mixed up his game, which is very good. For a guy that big, his frame, he kind of does the Tyson Fury thing where he hangs his frame on people. He hangs his body on you, lets you carry his weight, then beats you up on the inside. His inside game has been pretty good. Throwing big knees up the middle and then throwing the short elbows. I like it a lot, man. Using little Muay Thai skills. We like that on this side. The big man throw the strikey. Let's go. We like that. But yeah, against Dustin Jacoby, protect your legs. Dustin Jacoby throws some heavy leg kicks. He throws heavy leg kicks. He's pretty fast for a guy his size. Kennedy does have a little slow start. So I think Dustin Jacoby will take advantage of that. Don't try to fight too crazy inside against a dude like Kennedy. Kennedy has the long arms. So fight mid-range, as solid mid-range as you can against a guy like Kennedy. And for Kennedy got to shorten his strikes. Shorten your strikes, keep your defense up. Dustin Jacoby, please keep your defense up. Your last fight, you was doing so good, and you kept getting dropped. And every time you got dropped, you lost the fight. You had the round winning, especially that second round you had, then you got dropped. First round, you had a good round, you got dropped. Third round, you was somewhat all right, dropped. Man, that shit was crazy. And we have the co-main. The co-main. So let's talk about that real quick. All right. So Dustin Jacoby's number 15 in the rankings of light heavyweight. But this one is big. Number 5, Jessica Andrade, is stepping in on short notice, right? Yes, she's stepping in on short notice to face the number 10 and returning to strawweight, Tatiana Suarez. Now, if you've heard about Tatiana Suarez, everybody was calling her female Khabib because that girl has Olympic level wrestling and she's not afraid to use it. She is in your face nonstop with the wrestling. No breathing room, no days off. In your face, constantly wrestling, constantly pummeling, beating you, punching you, making you work. Her cardio carries that very well. The problem is she hasn't been in the cage for a while. Her last fight out was Montana De La Rosa, and before that, this girl was out for like what 3 years or something like that, 3.5. Nearly 4. She came back. She fought Montana. She moved up a weight class to fight Montana. Did pretty good against Montana. And I would say, she had the crazy neck injury. And I would say here that, Tatiana got to be very careful. But I don't know because Andrade got to be careful here, man. Jessica Andrade being number 5 in the strawweight division while being good, Um, let me go with the stats real quick. Tatiana Suarez, she's now about 32 years old. Yeah, 5'5", 66-inch reach. And you're on a 14-fight win streak, man. Amateur and pro. With Jessica Andrade, Bate Estaca, which is like power driver. Is currently on a 2-fight losing streak. 31 years old, 5'11" with a 62-inch reach. The girl got lit up by Zhao Nanyan her last fight out. And before that, she got submitted by Erin Blanchfield. And I'm worried about this fight, man. I'm worried because while Andrade is the little tank, man, the little engine that could do whatever she wants, she's looked human here. She's been getting pieced up. She's been going with that same, that same old, if I get hit, I'm going in Berserker Fury, and it's cost her fights. The one against Zhao Nanyan, she got caught clean. Was it a straight left hand that put her away? Damn. Clean. You gotta do better, girl. You gotta do better. Shit is crazy, man. And then she fought Erin Blanchfield. She threw the wild hooks. And all Erin had to do was throw 1-2s. She threw 1-2s down the middle, beating her to the punch. Man, I love Andrade, and I hope she can get a win here. I hope it'd be a big win, a big momentum swing for her. This is a tough fight for both. Suarez is going to take this fight to the ground. That's her best bet, her surefire bet. Surefire way to win. And Andrade got to keep this on the feet and land early and often and land big. But this is going to be a crazy co-main. And the main event, as I mentioned, man, number 4 versus number 7. Sandhagen got range. Rob Font. These boys both got power. They both got power. Rob Font got the better technical skills, but I'll say Corey Sandhagen has the better technical delivery. I'll say that. Corey Sandhagen has a nasty jiu-jitsu game that Rob Font don't got. We seen Rob Font get exposed by who's it? Marlon Vera, and um was it Jose Aldo? I think it was Aldo. Yep, it was Vera and Aldo. Both of those dudes exposed his jiu-jitsu, and as well as his Sun Sao, but more so Vera and Aldo. To take the back and do all that stuff. But Corey Sandhagen doesn't necessarily do a lot of that. He does a lot of his foot, dictation of range. He puts out a long jab. He throws really good dynamic kicks. He throws really good combinations. And he's explosive. Even if he could keep range, he could shorten range, fight long range, and his Muay Thai helps him with any type of shot. He throws very different variations of shots, regardless of distance. The jiu-jitsu is very dangerous as well, as I mentioned. And Font could defend submissions. He'd be stuck in position for way too long. When Font comes with the technicals of boxing, and he throws really good kicks out there as well to help him establish his punches, like a Roman Kopylov. But when he puts combinations together, those combinations could put you to sleep. And also, he has a fairly good counter game too. Um, so I want to see how he puts that right hand on use. How he throws that left hook or that right uppercut, puts those things to use, man. But good fight night card all the way. This is the fights that we need to see again. Good fights. Thank God for the pay-per-view, because that card with Holm and Silva, while it was entertaining somewhat, it was kind of dull. The London crowd was not feeling that London card, even though some of my picks did win. But UFC 291, gotta set this boat sailing in the right direction. Over this week, we have some good fights, man. That's it, yo. You want to catch me? I'm on Twitter, New Year, same B, at Mr. B 1986. Follow me, read my tweets, my retweets. Drop something on the DMs, man. What else? I'm on OK Live. I redid my account again, so check that out. Other than that, same name on the account, same picture on the account. I don't know what's going on late with this week, but you'll probably catch me on Late Night Parent. Depending if Late Night Parent's gonna be on this week with Ted Hicks, Tony D. Sometimes it's Brian. Sometimes we got different guests, Glick. Sometimes it's Fireman Rich. Always some random. It'll be a random person that comes in sometimes, man. But it's always dope to be on there. Catch the homie Glick and Nonsensical Nonsense. Those dudes, they stream like crazy, man. And people got to get on the wave, man. These dudes put out great content. Y'all got to check them out. They on there 3-4 days a week, man. You got to go out there. Probably sometimes more, sometimes less, depending on how they feeling, man. But they put out some great content. You got to go check that out. Ted Hicks, I mentioned. See this guy, Jason West? Go check him out. He on Twitter. Ease Jaw. Like 3 E's, 4 E's. S. Jaws. JAWZ. Catch that, man. If you don't know how to type that, just find me and look under my friends list. And he's there. So check that out, man. Yeah, man. But Glenn got the Nonsensical Nonsense, Tony D on there. They got a nice little fun, goofy panel that be hanging out there. Wild dudes they are. Wild dudes. But I say goofy because they get serious, and then sometimes it just gets silly. But you need that in your life, you know what I mean? A little mix of something. You can't just be serious all the damn time. Um, but yeah, um, and I'm hoping I get, we get back to doing this Cope's Corner stuff, man. But shout out to the homie Mike. I talked to him a little bit. I gotta try to contact him either later today or tomorrow. See what up, what up, what up. Our homegirl, Back in Black, she hit us up on Twitter the other day. You know, a fan of the show, but we haven't been doing the show because people just chilling, man. It's summer. But hopefully we get back to it. But till then, I'll keep doing this and all the other fun stuff. But that's it. I'm your boy, Mr. B. I'm going. I'm out of here. Listen to this if you want to. The boxing stuff from last week started on the beginning of this. We got to the MMA stuff. I talked all the other stuff. Now I'm out of here with all this stuff. Be good, be easy, take care. Till we see each other again. For the rest of your week. Peace.